Hi, I'm here to talk about Nareg Hartounian, a good friend of ours and of our band Yerevan, who was recently arrested, put to jail, and held on tax evasion charges in Yerevan in Armenia. Now, regardless of the fact that Nareg may or may not owe money to the government, what surprised me the most was the manner in which he was treated when he was arrested and jailed. It seemed more like an intimidation tactic than an actual lawful procedure which was carried out by the government. At a time when all the people from all over the world are quite disenchanted with their governments and politicians, understandably so, I guess we were naively hoping that the Armenian government would be different or would somehow rise above the temptation of corruption and all that goes along with it. I met Nareg Hartounian back in 2007 when the Naregatsi Art Institute, the center of which he is the founder, invited our band Yerevan to Armenia, where we played concerts throughout the country, in Yerevan, in Alaverdi, Goris, Shushi, Gyumri, and we realized very quickly that Nareg and the Naregatsi Art Institute were incredibly dedicated and very enthusiastic about revitalizing the cultural landscape of the country. They had gone as far as starting to build the center in Shushi in Karabakh where we played. And it was a great experience because we were surrounded by people very dedicated to their ideal, very enthusiastic about what they're doing, very respectful of the arts and the artists that they were bringing out to the country, and giving a platform for upcoming young artists within the country. I think that the Naregatsi Art Institute is a great center for many reasons, but the most important reason for me is the fact that all events are proposed free of charge to the public. I am fond of this because I think that we live in a time when all forms of arts are becoming commodities or products to sell. And to have a place like the Naregatsi Art Institute in Yerevan, where money does not have reason over the arts, where an upcoming young artist or an established artist can come and share his craft with the public, is I think, a privilege. Now, I know that this is a costly venture, and I realize that Nareg and his family have probably invested an important amount of sum to become important patrons of the arts in the country. But I think from an artistic standpoint, it is interesting to propose a center where the public and the arts come together to share the work, the craft, and the moment of creation, all the while being freed of the logistics concerning money and the costs and what have you. Now, I think that this incident of Nareg being arrested is even more unfortunate because of the fact that he is an active participant to the cultural landscape of the country. I think he's not one to just come out as a tourist and come back home waiting for the next trip. I think he's physically spending lots of time in the country, being involved in many aspects of cultural life, giving the opportunity to lots of artists to be able to come out, to perform, and to propose their work to an Armenian public to which they would not have access otherwise. When I first heard about Nareg Hartounian's arrest, I was obviously saddened, as most people who know him were. Then, of course, you start asking yourself the question, this doesn't make any sense. Even though he may owe money, the way in which things are done just doesn't, make common sense. Now, what to do with all these events and how can we make a difference? I think that the least we can do is to speak out in our humble ways and to try our best to get involved and not to be indifferent. Because I strongly believe that power and government tend to get stronger with the indifference of its people. We could possibly also show our appreciation and our support for the Naregatsi Art Center and the ideals that it stands for by imagining an event this year in Armenia in September or in October, where as artists from all over the world we could travel there to perform in the two centers in Yerevan and Shushi free of charge to the public. I would personally be very pleased to see such an event take place.